Welcome to the Haval H6 GT. Think of it as like a cheap and mostly terrible version of the BMW X4, Mercedes GLC Coupe, and Cupra Formentor. It doesn't actually have a direct rival in terms of being a non-premium mid-size SUV taking on the coupe profile. So that's good that it does stand out as a unique option, I guess. It looks pretty weird in my opinion, but undeniably sporty. It's got the fashionable black highlights, including for the wheel arch moulds, window surrounds, and lip spoiler. Check out that fake carbon fibre strip along the back. And up top, that huge rear wing. By looking at it, you just know this thing has been extensively wind tunnel tested. Underneath, the platform carries over from the old Way VV5 from 2017, supporting both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive configurations. It even has a bimodal exhaust. Wait until you hear it. As standard, you get these 19-inch alloy wheels in black, hiding, what's that, high-performance brakes? No, you get puny little brakes that actually look like they come from the back of a small hatchback. They're painted in yellowy green for added deception. Look, mockery aside, this would all be fine if it was a cheap car, but from $46,500 drive away, it's not actually that cheap. Also available for a similar price, you could get a Hyundai Tucson Elite, Kia Sportage SX Plus, or even a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Base model, but still, it's going to hold its value better than this, and it's more thoroughly engineered, in my opinion. If there is one redeeming element here that doesn't patronise customers, it's the interior. There's a good mix of quality materials, it feels warm and well made, and the design is quite nice. Passenger room is about average for this class, and technology levels are high. You get 2 digital screens with attractive graphics, and a set of bespoke seats in the front with suede-like sections for a sporty look and feel. They are pretty flat, however. Rear seat space is pretty good, with a low tailshaft tunnel running through the middle. Climate vents, charging ports, and cup holders on a flip-down armrest complete the package nicely. Even the door cards are finished in a soft suede-like trim, with soft-touch plastics and a quality metallic handle. Boot space is rated at 392 litres, which is below the class standards. But since this is a coupe, sort of, it can probably get away with it. Some plastic tubs on the side are great for wet or mucky stuff. Under the floor is a space-saver spare wheel. The engine is a 2-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder, producing a decent 150 kilowatts and 320 newton meters. It's paired up to a frustrated 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. This combo does not like stop-start driving. Performance is okay, but fuel economy, officially rated at 8.4 litres per 100 kilometres, is not. Out on the road, you've got a number of different driving assistance technologies to go through, although you don't have to. You can just get in and drive it. You don't have to engage with any of these. But you've got stop start here, so you can turn that off if you want to. And then in intelligent driving, you can turn off the emergency lane keep assist, so that stops the steering wheel from, automatically adjusting you in your lane. I like to leave that off. It's a bit sensitive as well in this vehicle, whereas you only need to approach the line a little bit and it'll start to tug the steering wheel the other way. I just find it a little bit off-putting, not just in this car but in pretty much all cars. And you've also got a number of different driving modes, including a race mode, which I don't think is really necessary for a vehicle like this, but it does actually have a bimodal exhaust, and if you have a look under the vehicle, there's actually 4 pipes that do come out. So the rear bumper bar's got this fake sort of chrome bit where exhaust pipes would usually be, but then behind that you've got 4 actual tailpipes coming out. So why not just connect that up and have 4 coming through? That'll look really cool. But yeah, in race mode, as you'll see in the engine sound section coming up, it's actually pretty loud and pretty sporty. I find the race mode a bit too aggressive in terms of the gear shifting, and it really jolts into first and second gear as well. It's obviously trying to be quick, but I find it just far too jolty for regular driving. And it does have paddle shifters too, but they don't seem to be very precise. You'll down change and it won't really blip the throttle for rev matching or anything like that, and it kind of just goes down a few gears, but you don't really notice. And then you hit the upshift paddle and it sort of happens a split second later. It's not super precise, which you wouldn't expect on a vehicle like this. It's not meant to be like a an X6M competitor or anything like that, or X4M, or you know, some high performance model. But if you're going to fit them, just have them fit properly, you know, and have them connected up so they are usable. I wouldn't actually use them, I'd just leave it in automatic. I'm back in normal mode now, but it is still quite sporty, and you've got a lot of what feels like torque right at your foot. It does kind of run out of puff higher in the rev range, as you'd expect for a vehicle like this. But yeah, the low end torque is quite responsive. It is kind of elastic too, so when you apply the throttle, it happens, or you get that response just a few seconds later. The suspension is quite soft and comfortable in most of the time. It's not until you hit some pretty nasty country roads and things that it starts to jitter around a bit, and you start to lose a little bit of steering control just because it is too soft and the wheels are skipping along the top of the bumps. You can have soft suspension that's still quite dynamic, like the Hyundai Tucson, for example. I find that too soft, but even when you push it around corners and hit some bumps and things, it still is very compliant with the road. Whereas this, yeah, it could be improved. I'm not really a fan of this rotary gear shifter either, because when you're going from reverse to drive, say if you're turning around or something like that, pulling out of a car park, you spin it around into reverse, and there's been a number of times where it hasn't actually locked into reverse and it's just remained in neutral, and I've, you know, applied some throttle and it's sitting there revving along, thinking, why has it done that? Because it hasn't gone into reverse. So you've got to really just take your time with it and let it go into gear before you before you apply any throttle. Yeah, I'll show you the upshifting. So third gear, hitting the throttle, hitting the paddle. There's just a bit of a delay there. Just open the window a little bit and you can hear the exhaust sound. So even then it kind of jerked pretty harshly into second gear. The biggest downsides are the transmission, just the way that it's not quite decisive and you're not sure if it's in reverse or drive when you're parking and so on, and the way that there's a big delay when you're using the stop-start system. But also it's a bit elastic and it kind of twangs, like you put your foot down a little bit and then it sort of suddenly takes off well after you put your foot down a little bit. So I think if they had a bit more refinement in the transmission, that would really help. And also the safety systems are a bit too over the top and not quite calibrated against some of the common rivals. We've just come up to a dangerous intersection, so I've got a crest coming over here. Stop start has engaged. I need to get out pretty quickly. Go, 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 go. Got my foot down. And it's just, yeah, definitely a bit delayed, and it's got that transmission twang where it gives you nothing, and then all of a sudden it takes off. I think they should try to improve that calibration so it's just a bit more linear rather than just snappy like that. Alright, let's head out now and do the performance test and see what it goes like.